angle of elevation. It is the angle formed by the line of sight with the horizontal when it is above the horizontal level. The case when we raise our head to look at the object. If this is the man and this is the horizontal level, when you look up and the line of sight, the angle is called angle of elevation from horizontal level up to the line of sight. And this is angle of elevation. While angle of depression, it is the angle formed by the line of sight with the horizontal when it is below the horizontal level, and the case when we lower our head to look at the object. So this is the horizontal level, and we look down, we have the line of sight, and the angle formed is the angle of depression. And how to solve word problems that involve angle of elevation or depression. Step 1. Draw a sketch of the situation or the given problem. Step 2. Mark in the given angle of elevation or depression. So identify if it is angle of elevation or angle of depression. And step 3. Use trigonometry to find the required missing length. Example. From the top of a flagpole 18 meters above the ground, the angle of depression of the bottom of the building is 30 degrees. How far apart are the pole and the building? So we have the ground, the building, and the flagpole. And from the top of the flagpole, which is 18 meters above, so the height, this is 18 meters, and the angle of depression, so this is the line of sight, up to the bottom of the building is equivalent to 30 degrees. And this is the angle of depression, which is equal to 30 degrees. If this is the angle of depression, therefore this angle is also 30 degrees. And how far is the length or the distance from the pole up to the bottom of the building? And this is the unknown value, and designate this as x distance. Using the SOHCAHTOA, this is sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. This is cosine theta, and this is adjacent over hypotenuse, and this is tangent theta, and this is opposite over adjacent. Based on the given, we have the opposite, we have the angle theta, and the opposite side is the value 18 meters. So this is opposite side, and x is the adjacent, and we have the angle theta. And based on SOHCAHTOA, we will use TOA, or tangent theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. Tangent theta is equals to opposite over adjacent, and the given angle is 30 degrees. So tangent 30 degrees is equal to the opposite side 18 meters and the unknown value, which is x, and cross multiply. So x is equals to 18 meters, and we divide by tangent 30 degrees. 18 meters, and we divide tangent theta, or tangent 30 degrees, is equals to 0.5774, and the value x, 18 over 0.5774, is equal to 31.17 meter. So this is the distance from the pole up to the edge of the building. So, and that's the final answer. Example: the angle of depression of a point on the horizontal ground from the top of a tree is 58 degrees. If the point is 10 meters away from the bottom of the tree, calculate the height of the tree. So we have the horizontal ground, the tree, and point. So designate this as point A, and this is point B. And we have the angle of depression from the top of the tree. So this is the top of the tree up to the point B, and this is the angle. So this is the angle of depression, which is 58 degrees, and it is 10 meters away from the bottom of the tree up to point B. So this distance is equivalent to 10 meter. And we are going to solve for the height of the tree. So this is the unknown value, and designate this as H. This angle is also 58 degrees with horizontal. The height, the distance 10 meters, and the angle height is equivalent to the opposite of the angle, which is O, and 10 meters is the adjacent. Using the SOHCAHTOA, which is for the given, we have the unknown, which is the height for the opposite side, and the given is adjacent, which is 10 meters, and the angle theta. So therefore we will use the SOHCAHTOA or TOA. So TOA, and this is the tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, and the angle theta is equivalent to 58 degrees, and the opposite side is the unknown value, which is the height of the tree, and the adjacent is 10 meters. So H is equal to cross multiply, so 10 times tangent 58 degrees, or H is equal to 10 tangent 58 degrees is equivalent to 1.6003, or H is equal to 16.003 meter, or H is equal to 16 meter. So this is the height of the tree, which is 16 meter. Example: an aircraft is at a height 200 meters above the ground. An angle of elevation of the aircraft from an observer 1.8 meters tall on the horizontal ground is 53 degrees. How far is the aircraft from the observer? So of the ground, and an aircraft is at a height 200 meters above the ground. This is the aircraft, which is the height is 200 meter above the ground, and an observer, which is 1.8 meter tall. So this is the observer, and the height is equals to 1.8 meter. And the angle of elevation of the aircraft from an observer, from the observer up to the aircraft, angle of elevation from the ground, which is horizontal from the ground, up to the line of sight, which is 53 degrees. And this is the angle of elevation. We have the observer, which is 1.8 meter, and the height of the aircraft is 200 meters. So how far is the aircraft from the observer? And this is the observer and this is the aircraft. So the distance from the observer up to the aircraft. And designate this as y. We will subtract the height of the observer. So this is the opposite, or equivalent to, opposite side is equivalent to the height of the aircraft from the ground, 200 meters, less 1.8 meter, which is the height of the observer, 1.8 meter, and this is 198.2 meters. So we have now the opposite side, which is 198.2 meter, using either so, ka, toa. Based on the given, we have the opposite and the angle, and we will find the distance, which is the hypotenuse. So this is hypotenuse, and we will use the so for the sine theta is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, and sine theta, which is sine 53 degrees, is equal to the opposite side, or 198.2 meter, and divided by the unknown value, which is y, and cross multiply. Y is equals to 198.2 and divided by sine 53 degrees. 198.2 divided by sine 53 degrees is equivalent to 0.7986, and y is equal to 248.18 meter, and this is the value or the distance from the observer up to the aircraft, and this is the answer. Example: from the top of a mast 150 meter above the ground level, an engineer sighted two spots, one in the east and the other one in the west. If their angles of depression are respectively 30 degrees and 60 degrees, how far apart are the two spots? The ground level, and above, the height of the mast is 150 meters and designate as T, and he sighted two spots, one in the east and one in the west, and pointed as A, and the other side is point B, and the angle of depression respectively from the first spot, which is equal to 30 degrees, and this is 30 degrees, while the other spot is equal to, or the angle of depression is 60 degrees. How far are the two spots? And we will find the distance from A to B and designate this as D. If this is the angle of depression, so therefore this angle is also 30 degrees, and the other side is 60 degrees. Therefore, at point B, this is equal to 60 degrees. And we will now find the total distance of A to B by using, we have the first triangle for, and designate this at point P. So we have two angles or triangle for A PT and B PT, and from A to P this is x1 and P to B is x2. with the height of 150 meters. With the height of 150 meters, we will solve first the distance AP or x sub 1 at triangle at triangle ATP. Tangent, so tangent of theta, which is 30 degrees, is equal to the opposite side of 150 meters and divided by the adjacent, which is x sub 1, and cross multiply. X sub 1 is equals to 150 all over tangent 30 degrees. So x sub 1, 150 over tangent 30 degrees, and it is equivalent to 259.81 meter. So we have now 259.81 meter. At triangle BTP, and we will be using also tangent. So the new tangent theta is 60 degrees. So tangent 60 degrees is equal to, the opposite side is 150 meters and divided by the adjacent side of x sub 2 and x sub 2. X sub 2 is equal to 150 meters and divided by tangent 60 degrees, and x sub 2 is equal to 86.61 meter. And to find the distance of the two spots from A to B, D, the total distance, is equals to x sub 1 plus x sub 2. So x sub 1 plus x sub 2 is equals to D. And the value of x sub 1 is 259.81 plus x sub 2, which is 86.61, and the total distance D is equal to 346.42 meter. So this is the value.